If you're hoping to buy or sell in Rochester this year, the numbers just gave us a pretty big clue. But it's not what the headlines say, and it's not evenly spread across the city. Hey, I'm Andrew Norrie. I'm a local agent here in Rochester, and every month I break down what's actually happening in our market. Not the national news, not the Zillow guesses, just real data, real strategy, and real advice for smart, down-to-earth people who like to be ahead of the curve. If that sounds like you, grab a notebook, or at least hit that subscribe button so you don't miss next month's update. And if you ever want to talk through your specific goals, I'm always happy to jump on a quick planning call. Let's start broad to see what's happening in Rochester, Minnesota, May 2025. Here's what we're seeing. Year to date, across the entire city for single-family homes, the median sales price is $345,000, almost exactly flat year over year. New listings are down 12.5% from this time last year. The total number of homes for sale is also down by about 10%. Pending sales down 4.5%, so demand hasn't pulled back, but it hasn't fallen off a cliff. And the median days on market is down to 16 from 23 last year. What does this mean if you're a seller? Well, it means that you're still in the driver's seat. You're just not on a racetrack anymore. You've got the advantage, but buyers have brakes now. And if you're a buyer, inventory might be tight, but prices aren't skyrocketing. That means patience and preparation are your new superpowers. So you got to be ready when the right house hits. So let's look at the numbers by zip code to see what Rochester's 4 quadrants are actually telling us. 55901 is Northwest Rochester. They've had 136 sales, the highest volume in the city, and the median sales price is $345,000. This area is Rochester's workhorse, steady, reliable, lots of move-up and entry-level activity. It's where the bellwether lives. When 55901 moves, the rest of the market usually follows. But buyers in 55901 are noticing something. A lot of homes need updating. The ones that show well, gone fast. The ones with old carpet and that one weird green bathroom, sitting longer than they used to. 55902 is Southwest. And these numbers can be a bit skewed by luxury listings and the Pill Hill neighborhood, and some of the other new developments. Southwest has seen a total of 91 sales year to date at a median price of $484,000. Southwest fetches the highest prices in town, but that volume shows that it's not just a luxury outlier. This is a busy, high-dollar market. Think Mayo execs, folks relocating from bigger metros, or families moving up. Sellers there can still expect to see multiples in a matter of days if they've priced their homes appropriately and they're in good condition, because many of these neighborhoods, even specific streets or specific homes in Southwest, are still sought after. Southeast Rochester's 55904. There we've seen 86 sales year to date and a median price of $282,000. This area took a hit last year. Prices dipped, but have stabilized. The homes here tend to be older and smaller and sometimes need more work, so buyers can get a deal, but they need to budget for fixes. Investors are starting to creep back into this zip code as well, especially for long-term holds, so that's something to keep an eye on. 55906 is Northeast Rochester, where there have been 75 sales at a median price of $340,000. Northeast is quiet but competitive. Parts of this area don't get much attention, but if you're hunting for value and you don't mind a slightly longer commute or less splashy curb appeal, or even more competitively priced luxury neighborhoods, it's still a good bet and less at risk of a bidding war. Now let's look at some mini segments for those strategy-driven viewers. What does all this mean for sellers? Well, it means if your home is clean, updated, and priced correctly, you're going to have leverage. But the days of just slapping $30K on for fun are gone. Buyers are smarter, and they're using the data. If your home is unique or needs work, let's talk. There's a strategy for that too, but it's not just wait and hope. What does all this mean for first-time buyers? Well, rates are still high-ish, just not compared to historical averages, and people are slowly starting to remember. But prices have cooled, so there's a window here if you're ready. especially if you're in that 325 to 350 range. Don't wait for rates to drop. When they do, demand will spike and you will be back in bidding wars. So the question is this seasonal or structural? Yeah, this is the spring surge, but underneath it, we're seeing a recalibrated market. Buyers are cautious but active. Sellers still have the edge, but need to work for it. This is not 2021, but it's not 2008 either. It's somewhere in between. National headlines may say that the market is cooling, and that's true for some places, but here in Rochester, we're seeing a flattening, not a reversal. We have the benefit that this is a stable, job-driven market. We don't boom, we don't bust, we just kind of glide. So here's a quick bonus for homeowners. If you already own a home in Rochester, whether you're thinking about selling or you're just curious where you stand, don't rely only on Zillow to give you an estimate of its value. I've got a local pricing tool called EquityIQ. It's fast, it's free, it doesn't require a login or an email address unless you want a custom report. You're going to get a whole lot more accurate estimates than the generic stuff you're finding online. I'll drop a link in the description. It's a good way to keep your finger on the pulse without talking to a single real estate agent, unless you really want to. So what's the wild card in all this data? Showings per listing are still solid at about 7.5 per home, but conversions are down. That means buyers are showing up, but they're not always writing offers. That tells us two things. One, buyer fatigue is real. Some folks are browsing right now, they're just not biting. Two, pricing matters more than ever. These numbers are all relative, as it's always a question of percentages, but at the median price point, if you're even 15K too high, buyers are walking. That's the difference between activity and action. If you want results, don't just get people through the door, get them to write an offer. If you're thinking of buying or selling this summer, let's talk. No sales pitch, just a smart, no-pressure planning session. Because your move should feel strategic, not stressful. Feel free to reach out by text, phone, or email. All my contact info is in the description. Let's make sure you're ready to act when the time is right. So, what surprises you most? How tight inventory still is? That 55902 is still flying? Or how balanced 55904 is becoming? Drop a comment below. I read every one. And if you want to stay sharp on what's really happening in Rochester real estate, hit subscribe. I'll be back next month with June's numbers. Thanks again.